headlines. 28 students of Bethel Baptist School regain freedom. APC lead in Lagos and Ogun elections. And the Tigers take on Australia. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Nafisa Abdul Al. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Trust TV News. Now the news in detail. Abducted students at Bethel Baptist High School in Kaduna have been released after 20 days in captivity. Joseph Hayab, Kaduna State Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, confirmed their release to newsmen on Sunday. Trust TV's correspondent Fatima Ladan, who was at the school, tells us more.
Right now, I'm standing at the Bethel Baptist Secondary School, where 121 students were kidnapped about 21 days ago. Today, a total of 28 students have been released from captivity. Behind me are their parents, who are receiving their children happily. All in all, there are 34 students that are being released so far, remaining 87 students who are still in captivity. Their parents are wishing they also come back to them safely. Fatima Laden, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
5 members of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria and 3 others who were captured by gunmen in Rivers Waters on Monday have regained freedom. Edward Osage, Assistant Director, Public Relations, Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, disclosed this in a statement. According to Osage, the release of the abducted persons was sequel to the intervention of the Director General of NIMASA, Bashir Jamo, and other stakeholders. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress have won in all 20 local government areas whose results were released by the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission after the local government elections held in Lagos and Ogun states. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has assured that his administration will continue to respect the autonomy of the local government and give them the necessary support to carry out their constitutional responsibilities as a third tier of government.
As some kind of random on the acceptability and the performance of this government. This happens to be our mid-tenure in office, our half term in office. And at the same time, we are at the polls voting in our local government chairman and our councillors. I believe that the difference between this election and the previous election is that then I was just a candidate of my party and a candidate with a lot of promises, a candidate that promised a lot of hope for our people. Now, 2 years in office, I have ensured that most of those promises I made on the course of my campaign have either been fulfilled completely or are being fulfilled. So I believe that this...
The Public Relations Officer, Ilorin International Airport, Sam Adrogoye, has denied any accident involving any aircraft belonging to Air Peace at the airport. In a statement he issued in Ilorin, he said there was no plane crash recorded at the airport. As a matter of fact, the said aircraft, which departed from Abuja, successfully landed in Ilorin. It only experienced tire bursts in the course of taxiing, the statement said. Meanwhile, all the 66 passengers and 6 crew members on board were disembarked without issues on the same day, being the 23rd of July. The federal government has again approved the extension of the deadline for NIN SIM data verification to October 31st, the 6th extension since December last year. A joint statement by the Nigeria Communications Commission (NCC) and the National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) on Sunday said the decision to extend the deadline was made following a request by stakeholders to accommodate registration in hard-to-reach remote areas, foreigners and diplomatic missions and Nigerians in diaspora. The statement, signed by NCC's Director of Public Affairs Ikechukwu Adinde and NIMSI Head of Media Kayode Adegoke, also said the extension would address low enrollment in schools and hospitals as evidenced by enrollment statistics. Coming up after the break, Governor of Katsina State calls for massive investment in youth education in order to tackle security. Do stay with us.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back, and here is a recap of our top stories. Abducted students at Bethel Baptist High School, Kaduna, have been released after 20 days in captivity. And we also told you that the All Progressives Congress have won in all 20 local government areas whose results were released by the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission after the local government elections held in Lagos and Ogun states. Moving on to more news, federal government of Nigeria is set to partner with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, to empower 20 million Nigerian youths by 2030. Country representative of UNICEF in Nigeria, Peter Hawkins, says the initiative will be replicated in many countries with 1.8 billion young people targeted around the world.
Nigeria has 65 million people between the ages of 10 and 24. So the youth of Nigeria, or the young people of Nigeria, but more importantly, the future of Nigeria. That generation will shape the future of Nigeria. And what Generation Unlimited is trying to do is, first of all, it acts as a platform between the government, the United Nations and the international community, and the private sector. What is Generation Unlimited trying to do? As I said, the 65 million young people that exist today is to help 20 million of those over the next 10 years step over the generation that they're in to be able to achieve, be able to meet their own ambitions, and be able to be a valuable commodity in this great country, Nigeria.
Governor Aminu Masari of Katsina State has called for massive investment in youth education and development as a way of tackling insecurity in the country. Masari made the call in a statement issued by Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Kalla, the press secretary to the state deputy governor, on Sunday in Katsina. According to the governor, such investment will provide opportunities for youth to be meaningfully engaged instead of indulging in violence and crime. Nigeria has recorded another death from the coronavirus pandemic, as well as 272 new infections across 9 states of the Federation. An update posted on its Facebook page early Sunday morning by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control indicated that Lagos once again topped the infection chart with 182 cases. The new cases raised the total number of infections in the country to 170,895. The total death toll is now 2,132, with 1 death recorded on Saturday. Meanwhile, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State has urged the 2020 Christian pilgrims to Jordan to pray for the nation to overcome security challenges while in the Holy Land. Lalong also urged the pilgrims to pray for the improvement of the nation's economy. He made the call while officially flagging off the 2020 Christian pilgrimage at Yakubu Gowon Airport, Haipang, in Jos. African Public Relations Association President Yomi Badejo has called on stakeholders in the world to recognize the importance and value of PR in every organization. The president made the call as part of celebrations for the first ever World Public Relations Day, charging practitioners to push forward the agenda of PR in their daily dealings. Whilst the World PR Day was inspired by a need to present a unified global agenda to make the world understand and better utilize PR, he further stressed the fact that many do not understand its core value, scope, and functions. On the foreign scene, Afghan government imposed a month-long curfew across almost all the country late Saturday in the bid to stop the Taliban from invading cities. Apart from the capital Kabul and 2 other provinces, no movement is allowed from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Fighting between the Taliban and Afghan government forces has increased over past 2 months as international troops pull out of the country. And in sports, Nigeria's men's basketball team, the Tigers, have begun their Tokyo 2020 Olympics journey as they take on Australia on Sunday. The Tigers, rated 4th according to FIBA Power Rankings, will be facing the Australian team, who are currently ranked number 1. Recall that ahead of the Tokyo Olympics, the team earned popular victories over USA and Argentina exhibition games.
And the head coach, Mike Brown.
And that wraps it up for our news update tonight. Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more news. I'm Nafisa Abdel Al. Thanks for watching.